And we are live. Welcome to the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast where I have like 7 different camera angles depending on the video now. I'm just going to do like mess with people. I'm going to put the camera over there sometimes. I'm going to put it over there. I'm going to put it up here occasionally. Just to keep you guessing. But we, as you can see in the description, I'm going to keep forgetting to look over here, but whatever. We're kind of talking about the pre-Road to WrestleMania. Obviously we're going to do a Road to WrestleMania video probably after Royal Rumble when we kind of, have an idea who's the champion, who, what's going into WrestleMania. But I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about little speed bumps in the Road to WrestleMania. Most of them being kind of major injuries from a bunch of kind of WWE's top talent, or as they would say, their top talent. First of all, I don't know if they were going to really use him anyway, but Sting obviously is out. He needs neck surgery. So he's not going to be able to wrestle at WrestleMania, unfortunately. I've heard he is going to be put into the WWE Hall of Fame, which is another thing I kind of want to talk about a little bit. Let's just talk about Sting first anyway. I'm happy that he, is being put into the WWE Hall of Fame. But I could see how, some legends and other WWE superstars who, have been loyal to WWE, who, have been with WWE since day one, could get kind of upset with this, because it wasn't until finally in 2015 when he finally decided to come to WWE. And, it's taking nothing away from his wrestling history. But, I mean, there's other guys that, whether they stayed with WWE or went to WCW, they were in WWE a lot longer than him, and that I kind of think should go in first. Not saying that he shouldn't be able to go into the Hall of Fame. It's just I feel like it's going to kind of rub some people the wrong way, I think. Do you have any thoughts on that or on his injury?
Yeah, I did think it was very interesting. Get it? Interesting. No, I thought it was interesting to see that he was getting inducted to the Hall of Fame, because now I'm kind of like, so is he retiring? Is this neck surgery, dire? Is it one of those things that can end his career, or one of those things that WWE just isn't comfortable with him going? Because, obviously with neck surgeries, it takes them a little bit for you to actually come back. We've seen that with Daniel Bryan. So maybe they don't want him to wrestle anymore, or something like that. Obviously, it's one of those things where he obviously, I feel like he's one of the, if this was like a wrestling Hall of Fame, he deserves it. And I feel like he deserves it in WWE just because of all he's done, his track record. But he hasn't done that much in WWE. So I kind of understand your point when you say that you don't feel like he should, be inducted, or you don't feel you not necessarily. That's not exactly what you said. Sorry, I don't want to put words in your mouth. You were saying more so that you feel like other wrestlers would get mad, and I agree with that, because he hasn't been there for that long. He's only had 2 matches and hasn't won one in either one of them. So from that standpoint, you're like, wait, what? I feel like they're kind of inducting him to a wrestling Hall of Fame, a sports entertainment Hall of Fame. More so a sports entertainment Hall of Fame for WWE, more so than a WWE Hall of Fame, just because he hasn't done that much in WWE. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I haven't had really a good chance of watching the Hall of Fame ceremony in the last couple of years, because it hasn't been on USA, I don't think. But I definitely want to. I want to see Sting get inducted. I may watch the last year's too. Now, come to think of it, but I'm definitely. I want to see how this is going to play out, because it may be something where he doesn't wrestle again, or it could be something where so they set up something for him to do something at WrestleMania. So I don't know. I'm intrigued.
All right. We also have Daniel Bryan out. Obviously, you know, he's had neck issues, injury, things like that. His doctors have cleared him, but WWE will not clear him. And you know, that's another thing that we've kind of been going back and forth on. You know, everyone wants to see Daniel Bryan back. Everyone wants to see him wrestle again. If he wants to wrestle and he's cleared to wrestle by his doctor, we want to see him wrestle. But at the same time, you know, I mean, his doctor may have cleared him, but how really, how bad is his neck really? You know, is it something where, you know, he could go for another, you know, 5-10 years, or is it something like, you know, he could have a couple more matches and then, you know, not as much. So that's kind of hurting, I think, a possibility of a possible match at WrestleMania. There's a lot of guys you could put him in a match with at WrestleMania. Otherwise, you know, like we were saying in a previous video, he could go. He could and should go to another promotion that's going to use him if he can wrestle and he feels like he can wrestle, and WWE refuses to clear him. I feel like it's, you know, again, it's WWE's health policy now, which I like. You know, trying to keep these guys from serious injuries, but at the same time, it's kind of hurting themselves because, you know, you have this talent who is cleared by his doctor, but you won't clear him. I really don't know. Any thoughts on that, or possibly them clearing him for a WrestleMania match, or should they?
Yeah, I would love to see him cleared. That's the point. I was all my points were flowing together just now. I would love to see him cleared, but it's one of those things that we can't, you know, we don't have any say over it. But you know, obviously, yeah, he could, you know, imagine this. Just imagine this. AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan, WrestleMania. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out, just throwing it out there, just tossing it. You know, it's just a soft little toss too. It ain't nothing too harsh. You know, I mean, just imagine. But you know, I don't know. I want to see him cleared, because if the doctors cleared him to where he can do it, you know, I feel like he should be fine. But I don't know. I'm not sure about WWE's policy. You know, what the, you know, kind of interwoven things that they have in there. You know, the specifics or anything like that. But you know, I would love to see him cleared, personally, and it would help too, because he's obviously healthy enough for the doctors to say he can go back out there. So I feel like it would help WWE a little bit too with all the, because good, I mean, man. It's hard to even like imagine how many people they have out.
Yeah, it's like the roster, just the roster. You name somebody, they're probably out with an injury. Next, we have the biggest star in WWE currently right now.
History
out is. Let me get to it. Some of you fans might want to sit down for this because it's hard to take in. It's hard for me to comprehend the fact that this man is injured. Erick Rowan is out with an injury. No. No, it's not. It's not your fake ass. Show the towel. Just show the towel.
But I tell you, he might be injured, but he's not giving up. He's coming back, baby. He's coming back.
Any thoughts on Erick Rowan? I mean, I don't think they were going to use him for anything. I don't really think they're doing it. They were just kind of using him as a jobber in the Wyatt family. So
wait, did Erick Rowan really hurt though? Like seriously though. Like
that's what I looked up. I found he was on the list of injuries. I guess he tore muscle in his bicep. or something like
That's a shame, That is a shame, I feel like. I like Erick Rowan. I don't know why. Everybody else hates the man. But, me, I'm trying to grow up my beard and it won't grow in certain places, so I cut it. But he's got a nice beard going on. Got that nice, bald look going. Erick Rowan, I like Erick Rowan. I think he's good. He's nice for a big guy. He's not the big guy, but he's similar. I don't know what they were doing with him in the Wyatt family though. He was just kind of there. They couldn't do anything with him with a singles run. They tried. It didn't work. It was that music. It was the music. It wasn't Eric's fault. It was the music. That music was horrible. But I don't know. This won't affect the Wyatt family much because really they're trying to pump up Braun more anyway. Not LeBron, but Braun Strowman.
LeBron.
And,
wait. LeBron is debuting in WWE. That's what you're telling me right now.
That's what it is. I think he is. I think WrestleMania debut, Royal Rumble. That's what it is. He's coming in number 30. From my inside sources. But I think they're trying to get Strowman. They're trying to build him up as just this huge monster along with Luke Harper. So it'd be good to see him get some more exposure too. We've seen a nice little bit of him, but I don't know if we've really seen him. We haven't seen him too much. And obviously they're gonna put Bray in some kind of random feud for WrestleMania because they don't care about Bray. As good as he is, they don't care about him. I don't know. Maybe they could put Bray in a feud with Reigns and have him repeat for the title because Bray Wyatt deserves a title because I have this little thing for Bray Wyatt. Anyway, I think it should happen. I was gonna bring that out for a special occasion. You're gonna be like just waiting for that to come back out. People who are watching, you're gonna be waiting, and you're gonna be like, I know it's coming. You probably forget like in like 5 minutes. But I feel like they're gonna put Bray in some kind of random feud for WrestleMania because they always do that. But I feel like his storylines are always good when he's putting, even if he put it in a random feud. Like I feel like the John Cena feud and the Undertaker feud were both really good. Just because the Undertaker feud, he pretty much carried that. So I liked it. I like the feud, and I'm wondering what they're gonna do with the Wyatt family on this road to WrestleMania.
You heard it here first, folks. He is happy, and he likes the fact that Erick Rowan is injured.
I didn't say that. Actually.
Yeah, that's what you said. That's what I heard. Anyway.
Well, you must have had me muted. It was.
Another injury that is well noted. Obviously, we had a title tournament because Seth Rollins, rather, obviously tore his ACL and MCL because he freaking tried to do something he should never have tried to do with Kane.
It was powerbomb.
It was something he shouldn't have never did ever.
That is true.
Physics, what? He did not take in high school. Clearly, he did not take physics. This kind of affects WrestleMania a little bit, but obviously we have a champion now. So, Seth Rollins could always help WrestleMania. His match last year was awesome. So ideally it would be good if he wasn't injured, but I don't know. Thoughts on Seth Rollins?
Yeah, obviously it's unfortunate. I felt like they were really building Seth Rollins up as a big guy because it's one of those things like a lot of people didn't really like his run, but this was more of a let him grow type of a run than it was for I feel like than it was for him character wise because he wasn't really able to show what he could do. He had like glimpses here and there, but he was kind of under the authority for the majority of his time as champion. But I think it's unfortunate because I called it and I was right, darn it. Seth Rollins is the new Mr. Pay-Per-View, Mr. Monday Night. I think he's kind of taking some lessons from RVD, because Seth Rollins put on some of the best matches that we've seen on these WWE pay-per-views that we like to crap on every time we watch them. And if you think I'm lying, Casey as weird as you're looking at me right now, you would probably agree. You would probably agree. I'm just saying. I mean, you might not agree with Mr. Pay-Per-View, but who else? Who else do we have? Just name one, please. Name one, no, and I'm talking about name one they actually use. Name one.
Rob, he lives in Virginia. I can get you an exact address.
Robbie E?
No, Rob Van Dam. I'm telling him.
He lives in Virginia? I'm going to go visit.
No, I'm telling him where you live.
Oh.
I'm telling him where, so he can come and, do whatever he wants. I don't know.
No, I was just saying that RVD passed the torch down, without having
a match. Torch.
He passed.
I
haven't seen Rob in the ring. I think he's still employed by WWE, and he is doing what Zack Ryder was doing for a couple of years now. So I'm just saying.
Anyway, moving on to. Were you just talking there because you got really quiet?
No, I wasn't.
Okay. I thought you were. Sorry, my bad. Maybe I heard myself. That was weird.
That's what it is.
And now we got Randall, forgot his middle name, Orton, out with a shoulder injury. I guess he's going to be out, or was going to be out 4 to 6 months. His shoulder injury happened, I think, a month or two ago, something like that. So either way, he will be missing WrestleMania, unfortunately, because he doesn't know how to take out the trash. Yes, that's what I heard. It was from taking out the trash. He heard it. I don't know. Any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, Randy Orton's one of my favorites for such a while. I do think he's gotten kind of stale just because they just kind of throw him around now. It seems like it's kind of what they do with a lot of people now. But it's another big star that kind of one of those guys that kind of from like that 2004-ish era until that's still here, still doing this thing and whatnot, and kind of a draw for guys who don't really watch wrestling as much anymore, but kind of see, oh, it's Randy Orton, I'll watch again. So I don't know. I was wondering, I'm just so many injuries, just thinking of. I mean, we've only been through like 3. We've only been through 3, and it's just so many.
We've been through 5.
We've only been through, 3.5. I feel like
it's been 5. It has been 5.
Well, I know what it is. None of them count until we get to the big one. You know what I'm talking about.
I mean, we get into the big one. We get into the next. I've heard. I don't know if this is confirmed that she's injured, but Nikki Bella is out with an injury. I don't know what her injury is. If anyone knows, let me know. Because I don't care. Because I hate her almost
I think
as
she's
much.
Having back issues. I think
her boyfriend. Maybe.
I think back issues. I think it's back issues.
Oh, back issues.
No, I don't really know.
Yeah. Okay. If anything, I thought, Brie would have the back issues, from having to carry Nikki, because anyway. Any thoughts on Nicole?
I don't know if Nikki Bella's a huge hit. Not because I don't like her, not because I don't think she's good. I just feel like, once again, this Divas Revolution is kind of a cluster right now. It's kind of just a lot of things going on, throwing itself at itself. Like, it's weird because like they have the Charlotte kind of Becky Lynch feud going on now, but they still have Team Bella member Brie Bella. Why? Why? It's irrelevant. I just don't understand it. It's kind of like they're trying to focus on 2 females, but then they have they still have the teams. I kind of understand Team Bad. It's fine. It's completely fine to have a faction, but or one stays together and maybe they do something with that. But why is Team Bella still together? Because they were all together because of Nikki initially. Like, that was the storyline. If she's gone, that's kind of like you cut down if you cut down the leader, the rest of them just fall down. You hit that first pin, the rest of them fall. Great bowling reference right there. Shout out to my bowlers out there. Much love to you. I can't bowl as well as you, but But yeah.
I mean, from that, that must mean that you always get strikes. Because I mean, I've hit pins and not all of them fall down.
You got to hit the first pin, but you got to hit it at the right angle. And then they all fall down. Like it's like what is it? Ring Around the Rosie. They all fall down.
Yeah. The man has never bowled in his life.
We bowling? Does that count?
I mean, sort of. But anyway, we got the big one. We got John Cena is out with an injury, and he'll be back next week, probably, most likely. Knowing John Cena, they say he's going to be out for like 8 months, and he's back in 5 minutes. I don't even want to say he'll miss WrestleMania because he'll probably be there. He'll probably be at the Rumble. I know you have something to say with your stupid towel.
First off, this is what I got to say. This to all the little viewers out there, all the John Cena fans right here. This towel, I made it just for you guys. But yeah, I was thinking about that. It was funny because on Raw they were like, John Cena's injured. He's gonna be out for this amount of time, and he just had surgery, and they were talking about how he was already in rehab, and I was like, what? I seriously like busted out laughing when they said that because I thought of you when you're always like, he's gonna John Cena it. He's just gonna come back. So don't rule it out. That he might be back at WrestleMania. I could see it happening because that's what, like 4 months from now, a little bit less than 4 months from now. They're not doing it until April, a little bit like third day of April, something like that. So I wouldn't rule it out. But I mean, regardless, you can hate him all you want to, but he's the big draw for WWE. He is for if I went and asked my neighbor, who I'm sure doesn't watch wrestling, and I'm like, hey, name me one person who wrestles right now, she would probably say John Cena because of this towel. No, not because of this towel, but it's still a big hit regardless. Any injury is a big hit. I mean, it could be an injury to Heath Slater, and then there goes the what is it? What do they call themselves? Darn it,
Slater Gator.
No, not Slater Gator. No, it's him, Adam Rose, the social outcasts. That's what it is. Him, Adam Rose, Bo Dallas, and freaking who's the last guy? Curtis Axel are in a faction. So if you kill Heath Slater, you just zoomed in on yourself. That was weird. Anyway. Oh God, how are you doing this? Anyway, I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Why is these things happening? Why? I'm so confused. But you know about the faction, right? The what do we call them? I forgot already. But I love the faction. Love everybody in it. Silence is not good.
Zayn.
Is he injured again?
Balor.
Oh.
Best.
Anyway. But they're not on the main roster, so technically they don't exist, right? That's how it works.
Hey, shut up.
That's how it works with WWE.
That is not how it works. Anyway, gotta fix all my zooms now
because you had to do that.
I did.
Because that had to happen.
I needed to make a point. So this anyway, back to our video. This brings up some questions, some conundrums, some other big words that are similar to problems and questions and issues. And anyway,
there must be some rectification. There's another word for you.
Rectification.
I got you, bro.
Yeah. First off, what does WWE do from now till WrestleMania to keep from more guys getting injured. Because it's almost like they have the Madden curse, but it's not that.
Cancel live shows, right? No?
Well, that goes to another question.
Cancel house shows.
That goes to another question. Are they working their talent too hard? Are they not using? Are they not spreading it out enough to where they're just using these guys over and over again, causing them to get injuries and not using their other talent? Because if they used more of their talent, all these guys, I feel like, wouldn't get as many injuries because they wouldn't be wrestling as much, But then again, you go with guys like, Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, Finn Balor, Sami Zayn, who've all, basically did the same thing on the indies. They wrestled all the time, and, they didn't get as many injuries. I mean, I think from what Sami Zayn said, this was his first major injury. Before this, he said he hadn't missed more than 4 days, So it's kind of like, what does WWE do? What are they doing that's causing all these injuries, and what do they do to stop it? Because they can't really, they can't afford anyone else to get injured right now, especially this close to WrestleMania, this close to Royal Rumble. Any thoughts possible? What do you think, DJ? What do you think, Dr. DJ? That's what the D stands for. It's Dr. James.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I agree. I feel like they probably do work him a little bit too much. Just because you listen to them talk about, the transition from going to like the indies to going to WWE is just so much. And I don't know, WWE has so many shows though, like, and you like, I think you don't think about it, like you're like, oh, they got Raw and they got SmackDown, that's it, but then you got all the house shows that they do on a weekly basis. You got obviously the traveling takes a wear and tear on your body too, and probably not as much sleep as they would like. Maybe if they kind of moved some shows up and gave the superstars a little bit more time to rest, especially more so house shows. You can leave the live shows how they are, but you think about it, they're wrestling Monday, and then a lot of them are coming back again and wrestling Tuesday for SmackDown, which is tough on you too. And then they probably got a house show on Wednesday, maybe another one on Friday, probably even one on Thursday, to be honest. It's probably just a lot on them. And we've seen some guys who've been with that schedule for a while and that have gotten hurt. So you kind of got to think about some of those guys who aren't used to that schedule and expect them to maybe, you don't want them to, but you're thinking that there's a possibility that they could get hurt. I'm kind of wondering what's gonna, if they're gonna like take some precautions in this year. I was gonna say this upcoming year, but this year, I guess technically there's still a lot of year left, so I could say this upcoming year. In this upcoming year, to see if they're gonna, maybe twinkle down or maybe even with house shows, like, keep some of the bigger stars on the house shows, and then, bring in some guys who don't wrestle as much, and kind of, that kind of be a good way of, exposing the crowd to them or something like that. I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out what they could really do, but it may take a little bit for them.
And I mean, are they, another question that kind of has to be brought up is, are they doing too many we love the big spots, we love the, suicide dives, we love the high risk maneuvers, we love all that stuff, but are they doing it too much? Should that be more, saved for pay-per-views? It's almost to a point where, maybe they need to go back to more psychological matches where, because I was watching another guy's YouTube show.
He was watching us. He was just watching us talk about this, right?
No.
Oh.
But he was talking about Vince Russo's podcast and how Vince Russo was saying, you got to still think about the psychology of a match. I mean, it's cool to see a guy do a suicide dive, but if you're doing that every match, you know, the object of the match, most matches, is to pin your opponent in the ring.
Don't you hate Vince Russo?
I do, but we're not. Psychologically, what is the point of doing a suicide dive when you have to get your opponent in the ring to pin them in the ring? It's you know, I think, you know, he does have a point. As much as I hate him, he has a point. You know, they do need to go back to more of a psychological kind of psychology based product to get a, you know, so it makes sense, you know, in matches. I mean, yeah, every once in a while they can still do the big moves and the big spots, you know, the OMG moments, but, you know, make the matches make sense, you know, and then that would slow down the matches a little bit, but not make it boring. And then, you know, all these guys wouldn't get as many injuries, I feel like. Any thoughts on that, or Vince Russo?
Yeah, that's one of those things. I agree. I think it would be a tough transition for fans because, you know, they already think Raw's boring, and then you see Dean Ambrose do 3 suicide dives, and like, oh yeah, ooh, it's a little bit more exciting, right? But yeah, I feel like that should be shaved. That should be saved for more pay-per-views because, you know, then psychologically it does make sense. You're doing whatever it takes to win. You know, even though you are taking yourself to the outside, you know, you're doing, you know, whatever you do, you know, to win on the outside. I feel like, yeah, those big moves, you know, can be cut down, especially for like Raws and SmackDowns and stuff, because you don't really, you know, you obviously want to win, but there's a little more to it when it's a bigger show.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, we all think that Raw and SmackDown are boring, but I think that's a lot of it. Again, most of that is because, you know, you have the 20-minute opening segments. You have all these useless backstage segments. I feel like if there was more actual wrestling matches, you know, it wouldn't be that much of a transition as long as they're entertaining matches. You know, you don't have to have all the high spots and the, you know, crazy stuff as long as it's an entertaining match. You know, and you see that in the indies all the time where, you know, I've seen Ring of Honor matches where the guys don't even leave the ring, and it's still a really entertaining match. I don't understand why WWE can't do that. But kind of before we end this video, one major question that is sort of up in the air because this, I guess, is there kind of going to be Undertaker's last match. You know, he's going to go out, I guess, retire after this one officially. That's what I've heard. I don't know. But who is Undertaker going to wrestle at WrestleMania 32? You know, it's kind of hard to even guess right now because most of the guys that they have kind of don't make sense. Obviously, everyone wanted to see Sting versus Undertaker. That was our dream match. Unfortunately, we're not going to get that with Sting's injury. Unless Taker stretches it out to WrestleMania 33 being his last match, I don't know. He's getting up there in age. I don't know if he would want to do that. But I mean, who are they gonna do a match with him? You know, who can, you know, make an interesting match? And I really don't know. I can't even guess. Do you have any thoughts? Any suggestions? Do you want to wrestle Undertaker?
Yes. That I would love to wrestle Undertaker. His retirement match. I don't know if I can carry the match though, because I don't know how to wrestle. So I really don't know. Kind of hard to guess. Kind of hard to figure out who would be a good one. I really don't know, to be honest. That's a really hard thing because, like, you know, obviously And some of the guys you would think of, we've already seen, so they wouldn't do it again. I don't really know, man. I'm definitely interested to see what they're gonna do with that, because obviously they usually start the feud a little bit after whatever or Fastlane, I guess is what it's gonna be this year.
Yeah. Well, I know. Sort of last year, I was thinking about, who hasn't Undertaker faced at WrestleMania, and it doesn't matter the streak anymore. The streak is ended. It doesn't matter. So, that kind of opens it up to just being a really good match. And I've always kind of wanted to see Taker and Austin at a WrestleMania, because they haven't had a WrestleMania match. They've had a great feud, but I feel like that would be a really cool if they could both do one more match. I think that would be a really cool match to see as Taker's retirement match, because I think, at least to me growing up, that was one of the most iconic feuds that I remember growing up as a kid, was Austin versus Taker. But is there any kind of dream opponent you would like to see Taker face, if you could pick anybody? Not Bo Dallas.
Darn. Yeah, I agree with that. Stone Cold would be a good one. The Rock's appearing at WrestleMania, so we could that's like an option. I feel like they could go with. I can't remember. I think we've seen The Rock versus Taker at Mania, but I can't remember off the top of my head. And plus, The Rock, he has a better chance of probably getting in the ring than Austin, because he doesn't have the injury history that Austin does. So, I think The Rock would be a good one. Obviously he can still put on good matches. We saw it, what was it, 3 years ago or something? But, I feel like it's kind of hard to guess Taker's opponent right now, or kind of who would be Taker's opponent, because you could give, like, a young guy a rub, but do you really want Taker to lose again at WrestleMania, after being so dominant for so long? That's kind of something you got to think about too, which makes it kind of difficult to think, this guy, let's go with this guy, let's go with that guy.
And I think it has to be somebody who's either, retired or a legend, because, if he has a match against somebody who's still on the current roster, if they beat him, we just see Taker lose again, and nobody wants to see that. But if Taker beats them, I don't know if that's necessarily good for them, if that's bad for them. It's kind of to where if it was somebody like Austin or The Rock, I mean, if Taker beats either one of them, it's still going to be a good match, but it's not really going to affect them too much, I don't think. But I mean, that's just kind of something that we're going to have to pay attention to down the road. See, if there's going to be a Taker match this year. I know there was a lot of questions last year whether there was going to be one. Luckily, there was. So it's going to, we have to take it a day at a time. First things first, we have to wait for Royal Rumble coming up, which seems like it's taking forever to get here. I want it to happen now, just right now, tonight, right now. I'm not going to wait any longer, WWE. You do it right now. Now. Are they doing it yet? No? Damn. All right, I guess I'll have to wait. But anyway, this has been our kind of pre-Road to WrestleMania. Like I said in the description, we're stopping at the gas station. We're filling up. We're getting some snacks, getting some directions, flirting with the cute girl at the register, but yeah, leave comments, subscribe, follow on Twitter, follow in real life if you want. No, is that not something that we're doing? I thought we were going to start that, you know. But anyway, we will see you very soon for the picks video for the divisional round of NFL stuff and things on the flippity dippity. Oh.